think without further ado, we're good for game number 2, Trev?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. We got a replay cast going on here, so let's jump in. Let's do a countdown quickly. Let's go 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Cool. 4. I think we're good. All right. We got game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. DmSn taking a bye. Let's jump in. Oh, look. We're getting fancy here on Honcast. Yeah. Team bye on the Legion side. DmSn on the Hellborn side. Of course, DmSn coming up into this game 1-0. Granted, team bye, I'm not going to lie. I mean, they played it pretty well, and especially Hoffmeister. He had a very good Tremble game.
Yeah.
It was fun to see that. So, Parasite, Keeper of the Forest going to be locked on, or blind bands from Team Bye. Keeper of the Forest, Wild Soul coming out here from DmSn. So nothing crazy there. Ophelia is the first lock. Yes, we can't see.
No, we can't.
It's bugged.
I can see it. Haha.
Your replay's special. So yep. Glacius Tempest to follow. So I guess it's going to be a case of you can't see them until they actually enter the next phase, perhaps. Anyways, yeah. So nothing crazy here. I made the point though at the very end of the first game there, Trev, how getting to see teams like this, where at the very least you can expect some fun things to talk about / entertaining games.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely got that in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, we had, what was it, total of 35 hero kills in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot, very action-packed. And I think you get that in general, too, when you just simply have tri-lane versus tri-lane setups. We saw a lot of aggression coming out early on from both teams. So
Don't we miss the tri-lane days?
I do, actually. I thought they were fun.
See, when they are 3 versus 3, they could be some of the most entertaining Han for sure. But that was the risk. It was a case of, and for the most part, it usually was a 3 tri-lane short versus a tri-lane short, and so you just farm, and then you'd eventually meet up. But anyways, it's we don't see really too many tri-lanes nowadays. Aluna Rhapsody going to be locked here by Team Bye. Rhapsody, not a hero we see too often, but she can be powerful, man. And actually, speaking of the hero we don't see too often, Slither.
Yeah.
Never seen him where either, but he's definitely had his time on the competitive scene.
Yeah, I think Slither's actually pretty good. The only problem with him is they changed his passive to, I don't like it anymore how it is. I liked how it was before, how the passive slowed, and now it's the wards that slow. And they also just in general, he's a support hero that doesn't have a stun. And in this metagame especially, you want your support heroes to have some kind of lockdown potential to stop people from pushing and catch them off guard that way. And Slither can't really do that. You can do that with a spray, but your spray doesn't have max range at level 1, and it does scale. And you normally see Slithers go for the wards build so that you can push faster. That being said, your spray doesn't have the long range to catch someone. So I still think in general Slither's a strong support, and you can actually get some good items on him as a support using those wards to farm up in the jungle or push yourself.
Yeah, seeing the wards go back to the 1200 range would be pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy to think that the wards actually used to have that much vision on them, the 1200 range. I think it's now the 900, one of those in-betweens. But, yeah, it's he has potential, but, yeah, I could definitely see what you're saying, specifically with that toxicity being his passive. The banning phase happening here. We have Moon Queen, Fade, Pebbles, Tundra, Engineer. And now the final ban going to be happening from DmSn. And again, kind of a funny thing to note this time is the fact that Wild Soul, remember, he wasn't locked, blind banned, or banned. He was first picked last game by DmSn. We never see Wild Soul get to that point. This time he was blind banned right off the bat, actually by DmSn. They kind of go with the more routine there. But just an interesting, fun note to bring up. There we go. Now the locks are showing. Plague Rider is actually the final ban coming out, so it's going to be first pick for Team Bye. Let's see who they value here as their first pick. Demented Shaman Zephyr is on the board. I know that's definitely a combo that a lot of teams usually like to get the chance to pick up if they are still left open. So noting that. I promise you, and with being replay cast, there are people that speculate, oh, they looked at the cast before, they looked at the replay. Obviously when you're downloading and everything, we try our best to kind of hide it and just not look. And for the I will say, it might happen sometimes, but I think that ruins a cast if you try to look what happens. So
yeah, and it makes it more boring. Honestly,
it does. Yeah. So we do our best not to know any information going into it. So if we happen to make correct calls, it's because we're just that good, not because we cheated.
Hey, I make correct calls all day long.
All day long.
All day, every day.
Silhouette the first pick, but look at that response. Master of Arms Rally. Rally again. He's kind of one of these heroes that's been showing he can handle his own on the competitive scene, and it's interesting because out of those, remember those 6 heroes that came out for Han Tour? Rally, Artillery, Prophet. Who else was there? There was freaking this guy, Alonia, Riftwalker. And there was one more I'm blanking on. Blitz, was it? No, he was before. Anyways, Prophet was the one where we're like, okay, probably him. And then after that, it was maybe, Ravener. That was the other one. And then after that was like, maybe not really.
Rally Ravener was available? No one's picking him?
I know. They did just
got
buff
buffed?
him. He did. You know what? Why are we not seeing him?
I don't know.
We should probably see him this weekend. You know, speaking of who got a buff, we were talking a little bit before the cast, was Thunderbringer.
Yeah.
Thunderbringer got a buff with his third, what is it called? What's that passive called? Here,
Static charge?
Static? No. Thunderbringer, the Lightning Rod.
Okay.
Static charge is Dota, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Lightning Rod. The radius was reduced, however, it now works wherever you target. So say you even use your ultimate for an instance, what all the heroes that get ultied, actually in a 650 radius around them, it actually will do the Lightning Rod damage as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Can make him a lot more aggressive, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, you can make it so that your thing procs, but you don't have to stand next to somebody and put yourself in harm's way.
Always kind of odd.
Yeah. But anyway, the picks coming out. Yeah, if I had to mention 2 heroes right now in the competitive scene that are just kind of exploding, it's really Massive Arms and Rally, and those 2 heroes were picked up from DmSn. A lot more picks coming out here too. Is Ophelia out of the log picks, Silhouette Torture Pharaoh for buy, Rally, Master of Arms Glacius, and now to finish it off for DmSn, Bubbles Tempest and Glacius, and then a Luna final pick for buy.
Yeah. I was kind of maybe hoping out of the Rhapsody or Slither, of course, a little bit of a difference here at the end for Team Buy, but no, you can't blame them. They go with the Luna pick. I just want to, go with the solid support option here. So, yeah, you talked about the Master of Arms Rally, just 2 heroes that kind of just broke onto the scene lately. As you know, we definitely go through those transitions. A new hero will all of a sudden appear, and just like that, a couple weeks later, every team seems to be using them. Master of Arms, at least, is definitely doing that, and Rally a little bit more. So, picked up here from another dimension as far as their whole lineup goes. The Tempest, MOA, Glacius, Bubbles, and Rally. First thing that stands out to me, some awesome team fight coming out there for them. I assume this is going to be more of a farming style Master of Arms, of course, as well. As we're going to vote to pause. No, we're not. Replays for the win. Yeah, so we'll see how they decide to lane things here, going about it, but well, for both teams. I guess for the Legion team, you're a little bit more obvious when it comes to the lanes. Probably going to see that Silhouette short, Tort, Luna mid, maybe, or I guess.
I think they're going to man up and tri-lane.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing about that is you're fighting up against a Glacius, but it's a Glacius plus Tempest. It's like Tempest can't really help you that much in his own jungle to fend off an Ophelia plus a Luna. So that being said, I think they actually do have the means to man up here. And we're going to see maybe a level 1 or a pre-level 1 engagement here up in the top woods.
Yeah, the courier was spotted, or the courier did spot the Legion team even, so in both ways. So right now, DmSn, they're realizing that they're trying to 5-man gank us, and they would have the numbers advantage. So obviously with Bubbles going all the way to the bottom lane, he does get the very early ward of sight down. But yeah, you're right. An aggressive pseudo tri-lane is very possible here, and it looks like we ultimately are going to see that coming out from T-Buy. That most likely means the Pharaoh mid, and then Silhouette can actually short solo here. So what kind of response is going to come out from DmSn? Can they really do ultimate do a lot? You talked about the Glacius, but also there is that Tempest, who's definitely more of a passive style jungler. Going to be interesting to see how it's played out up here, that's for sure. Hoffmeister, by the way, of course, he had that great Tremble game. He's the one playing Ophelia this time around. Seems like he knows what he's doing when it comes to microing, especially. That's something that's required on Ophelia, I've heard.
Yeah.
So,
well, what I'd like to see DmSn do is I think they might have spotted it out. I would have liked to see the Bubbles go top against the pseudo tri-lane, and then have something like Pharaoh mid, and then maybe the other lane bottom with Tempest, finding some maybe farm in his own jungle, or just kind of rotating back and forth. Because when the 2 junglers keep rotating back and forth, I feel like it's always going to favor the passive jungler, because, actually we see some action already onto Ophelia. And this is exactly what you have to do as Glacius, is protect your jungler.
Yeah.
So he's already applying some pressure, but the Vulture Lord's actually doing a lot of damage to Sender. And he's got to be careful here. He's actually running into... Oh, and he actually uses the Ice Imprisonment yet again. onto the Vulture Lord, but he actually was taking a lot of damage right there. Used basically all of his consumables right now early on here.
Yeah, you do see they are going to kill the Vulture Lord in the end. And however, Ophelia's like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up this Catman champion over here then.
Yeah.
As the cooldown is coming up anyways, and that's probably the better choice. So not necessarily the biggest deal. Granted, it did get some farm, of course, for the Hellborn team there. But anyway, so you talked about Glacius protecting your own jungle in this case, and that's exactly what Cinder is doing here. But really, how well will it play out in the long run is the big question. Make a solid start, but you see, look at this, Ophelia and Aluna running over together. So it really is kind of turning into a 2 versus 2 jungle here between the two teams. You see a good power throw hitting all the elementals, but the Catman champion's frozen, and it's kind of a battle of creep farm here. They're not even going for the heroes. They're actually just going for the minions there. So kind of a funny situation coming out. Glacius doesn't have enough mana for another Ice Imprisonment, so won't be able to do that. Power throw lining up pretty well right there, actually. And now Ophelia's going back in, so we got, again, I mean, this is some crazy aggression here in the jungle between these two sides.
Even Pharaoh's shooting up the Tormented Soul to level 2 and actually put Tempest down to a lot of, or very low HP. Tempest is going to have to go walk back to base. And you actually saw with Ophelia's skill, not skill build, but the items that Hoffmeister bought was lots of consumables. And we don't normally see this on Ophelia, but it's actually pretty smart if you're looking for these engagements early on, which is actually happening in the jungle. So he's able to keep his health and mana up, and also forcing Tempest out of the jungle a little bit early here.
So now, as far as the lanes are concerned, let's take a quick look at that. The top lane, I guess that's where to start. You got Torture 11-6 compared to a 4-1 Master of Arms. So Cap here on Torture, to say the least. He is doing a good job of boxing out this Master and really taking advantage of that. I mean, it's kind of been an awkward lane once again, obviously, with the Ophelia and Aluna kind of doing their own thing, and Glacius Tempest as well. But Torture is most certainly winning this lane matchup. Now, there's going to be a freeze on Aluna. Glacius coming out of the invis. We do see a Forked Lightning connecting as well onto Aluna. However, the Vulture Lord Cyclone slowing everyone down right here. And that is going to help Aluna get away. So, again, good job taking advantage of that Vulture Lord. Now, Rally's coming over. He does have a Compel. But, no, it's not going to be close enough. Aluna will survive in the end. A lot of resources used right there to try to kill the Aluna, which they didn't even accomplish.
A lot of resources indeed. And that's why you see already kind of a spike in the golden experience early on here for Team Bai. And that kind of sucks. You have a free farming Torture. Pharaoh's actually doing really, really well in the mid lane. He's, 19-3. Compared to a 15-2 Rally, so actually winning this lane just a little bit. Bottom lane Silhouette versus Bubbles, really, not too much of a surprise there. Bubbles always does have the potential to win, but you do have to give the edge to Silhouette here, also being in their short lane.
Yeah, it's again, you look at the creep farm. I mean, Silhouette dominating 18-3 against a 7-2 Bubbles, and the positioning coming out here from Az playing the Silhouette, and it's what you would expect. I mean, really just boxing out Bubbles, making it very difficult for him to try to make anything happen. 4-minute rune is going to be a race to it. Will this spawn bottom? No, it will not. Pharaoh's going to take a freeze, and they're actually collapsing on him. In comes the Mummy Wall. Bubbles actually going to shell serve over it, though. And ultimately, Pharaoh will just kind of walk away. So not really the best engagement right there. Now the team really sacrificing anything. Master of Arms, in the meantime, he's been heavily pressured by a hasted Aluna. Will just fall all the way back to the tower. And Torture will just continue to farm. So really all three lanes actually being won pretty effectively. And on top of that, I mean, you can even argue that the jungle situation also being won right now by the Legion team. So it seems like a very, very good start here overall for Team Bai.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing quite well. And also the stats as far as CS goes for Ophelia, and even Aluna for that matter, aren't reflective of how much their GPM actually is, because when you get those kills on those elementals, it doesn't actually count towards your creep score. And I've seen Ophelia take out a number of those, which is why she actually has neck-and-neck GPM with Tempest, who is a hero that farms a lot faster in the jungle than Ophelia does, especially when Ophelia is being played offensively rather than defensively.
Yeah. So again, this middle matchup you're talking about, and Rally is kind of the shining star right now for the Hellborn team. He's kind of competing with his Pharaoh and actually has overtaken the creep farm by quite a bit. Bloodlust kill going to happen at the bottom lane in the meantime. Silhouette trying to stay alive against Bubbles. Will fall, though, but she did get the kill first on Glacius, actually, right before that. So I was kind of caught up on looking at some numbers there, but action at the bottom lane. Glacius trying to assist with the gank could eventually happen, of course, but Bloodlust kill came out for Az first there, playing that Silhouette. So obviously, at least making the best of a poor situation there. Whoa! Rally. Kind of Oops, I honestly think that was him just trying to be silly. And he actually went through with the ability.
Okay.
Well, you don't have a seismic slam now.
Yeah, and that's actually going to make it a little bit more difficult because it's going to give Pharaoh, like, he's not going to fear anything, at least now for the next 50 seconds or however long it is.
Yeah.
The Compel was used to stun him as well as go for that top room, which it is going to spawn top.
Oh.
But no, it's not. Or sorry, it is still going to spawn, but it gets stolen right there with the Wrath of the Pharaoh hook. Or Wrath of the, Wrath of the Pharaoh hook. And so good job there by Easy Fit.
Love it.
Sniping him out and sniping the rune.
I love it. You know, Zergo clearly getting a little cocky here, you know, kind of do the stop cancel with the seismic slam, actively uses it, but then he's like, okay, I'm just going to compel towards this rune and go ahead and pick it up. But Pharaoh, no. Answers Rally big time there with the Wrath of the Pharaoh and then steals it right in front of him. That was definitely fun to watch. And actually he's going to go for the Mummy Wall trap right here. In comes the Tormented Soul, and out comes the Hellfire, and Rally may fall right here, adding the insult to injury. Indeed he will. Easy Fit really taking it to Zergo now. And I must say, ever since that seismic slam incident, it seems like Zergo's kind of had a couple of misfortunes, and it ends up with him getting killed to a solo Pharaoh.
Yeah, well, it's really his own damn fault, to be honest. And spending the extra mana compelled to kind of be silly at least, not have the escape mechanism available to you. And I believe you can compel, I don't know 100% sure, maybe you know this. Can you compel out of the mummy walls? I haven't played Rally enough to know this.
I would assume so. It does seem like one of those, I am not sure though.
We will see it, I'm sure, this game.
Well, I assume you can use it like over cliffs and whatnot, kind of like a tablet, so I don't see why not. Ooh, bottom lane again. We do see actually Silhouette is going to get ganked, so keep missing this action down here, but Glacius does assist, and this time they actually get the kill without dying themselves, so good gank setup.
Yeah, keeping him down, and this is the carry too for Team Bind. You obviously want him to have the most farm, and being able to get 2 kills already onto Silhouette with Bubbles having both of those kills is pretty effective here for DmSn.
Yeah. So 2-2 hero kill game right now between these two teams, coming up to about 8 minutes in. So there's going to be a, well, that was the compel right there from Rally, but not really catching Pharaoh, so Pharaoh just going to run towards the top rune, going to be regen. Is there going to be compel? Offensive Master's calling a Rally right there, but he really wasn't even that close. If he had a compel, maybe, but obviously just using it. So Pharaoh able to pick it up and going to take advantage of that regen rune, I am sure. And by the way, I mean, what about Pharaoh's build? Maxing out that Tormented Soul here, being in the middle lane. Do you agree with that?
I mean, we saw for a long time of Pharaoh players always maxing the Hellfire, and I still see it actually to this day. Yeah. Not to say that it's wrong, but I really do feel like you can have such a huge presence for the rest of your team with the maxed out Tormented Soul.
Sender in a lot of trouble here, and Pelmut's being spread quite a bit, but no, it's not going to be enough. In fact, the Tormented Soul coming through, the Wrath of the Pharaoh catching Master of Arts as well. The Compel going to be used on a barely save MOA. We do have a Tormented Soul up at 5 seconds. MOA is very, very low. We'll see if he can snipe him out here. You know he's going to go for it any second now. In fact, there you go. Let's look at MOA. He's going to get some regen up, and it will miss anyways, so he will survive. But just as you were talking about, sure enough, it assists for a kill. But honestly, a pretty good save on Rally's part, using that compel in the sense of, again, the kind of that free tablet of command, and helps Master of Arms ultimately survive right there, who did have a Master's Call, to be fair, and actually wasn't able to use it for whatever. Maybe it was actually still on cooldown now that I think about it. But anyways, he stays alive, going to have to regen, but a good save nonetheless. But yeah, Pharaoh seems like he is being pretty active, and again, going back to what you're just talking about with the Tormented Soul, it seems like you kind of prefer that, and it is just good assistance of 200 magic damage. That's global. You know, you can spam it obviously, and for minimal mana cost, really, only 65 mana. So
yeah, it's a very low mana cost. So yeah, good job by him, and I believe I did see that the compel went through the walls right there. So
yeah.
Actually, some action here in the mid lane. Yeah, he does compel through the walls, and there you go. Again, my question has been answered a number of times now.
Yeah. It's almost as if, you know, just making it, you heard the question, he's like, okay, I'm going to go and show you several times. Haste Rune picked up by Rally, speaking of him right there. Bottom lane, Bubbles was the one in some trouble. Silhouette was putting some pressure, as obviously Ophelia also coming up. She uses the heal right there, by the way. I didn't get a glance at her minions. Maybe they were actually fairly low, so maybe that's why, if anything. But they are going for the push anyway, so I really just wanted to heal up before this push, and vulnerability's coming out. Glacius is nearby. I don't think it's going to be close. Here comes Rally actually charging in with a haste rune. The deny is not successful, but Kelfield will catch Ophelia. Nice Minotaur stun, though, coming out from Ophelia right there. Can Hoffmaster get away? No, he cannot. That seismic slam from Zergo, and there's the kill onto Ophelia. So good attempt at least trying to get away, but the chase just too much from DmSn. Granted, the tower still fell, so.
Yeah, and also the offensive Master's Call works pretty nicely too, with a hero like Rally with that ultimate, as you just saw right there. Oh, here comes a hook here, actually from Pharaoh.
Yeah, Tempest in some trouble. He will fall right there. Ophelia still assisting with the minions, by the way. Those Minotaurs are still here. That's a good job. Shell Seraph not going to port to it, though. He is out of mana. He does have 10 mana charges on the mana battery, but Silhouette actually will survive as she ports out. So, yeah, some more initiation results in a Tempest kill and not much else. But great point. You know, when we think of that offensive Master's Call, usually you just think of the movement speed more so, maybe the attack speed, but the spellcast speed is the other thing. And for a Seismic Slam, that is true. Very, very helpful.
I'll tell you, the funnest combination, too, is that with the Soul Stealer ultimate. Yeah. It basically becomes an instant ultimate when you have a level 3 Master's Call. It's very, very fun to watch.
Imagine if it was still 1 second cast.
I know.
Ultimate. That's 1.4. Ugh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Gross, Dog Geyser. Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely great points to bring up though, considering a Master of Arms, but especially since we're seeing him so much more lately here on the competitive scene. But overall, I mean, you look at how things are going in this game. We're now 12 minutes in, and kind of glancing around at how certain heroes are doing. Plated Greaves picked up on Ophelia. Pharaoh has the Steam Boots bottle, trying to finish now with him with the Black Legion. It looks like Torture is able to pick up that Talisman of the Exile. Who actually go away from that. He actually catches Tempest, but Tempest going to ultimate right here. Has the minions charging in. He also has a Master of Arms coming in for the assistance. Charge Shot going to be right there. The Impalment still doing work. Oh, the chain reactions. Just missing by that Torment. It's all going to clean up. As a Wrath of the Pharaoh connecting on top of the Parathor. Glacius is going to fall from this. Will they also kill Rally? He has an Invis room bottled up, by the way, but he's going to jump in. The Seismic Slam. Boom goes a Dynamite. And look at that. Luna and Ophelia are dead. Pharaoh is chasing now with the Hellfire, but he is currently out of mana. Compel is going to be coming up in about 4 seconds here for Rally. We'll see if they can maybe use that for killing a Pharaoh. It is a 1 versus 3 right now. The Mummy Walls go off. Pharaoh trying to make anything happen right here. Compel used by Rally, though, and down goes Pharaoh. A hat trick coming up for Bitch Slapped, actually. Playing that Master of Arms there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Team Bai just got a little bit overzealous, and they could have just left Torture, I suppose, and it did have the Wrath of the Pharaoh hook come in, and it looked like a good start to that fight, but it just simply wasn't enough. Ophelia heal wasn't able to be used, and she died. And, yeah, unfortunate there.
Died earlier on, but that was definitely a fight that kind of had several moments to it. It all started, I remember, with Torture actually getting caught by Tempest. And then resumed after that. So, manliness runs in the family. Yeah, Pharaoh was definitely manning up right there, to say the least. So, again, he's trying to finish off the Helm of the Black Legion. Speaking of that, Master of Arms is he's got the Steam Boost Power Supply, so he just has his build up by him. Nothing too crazy really on either side right now. Now, while all that was happening, I will say Silhouette was still farming down here at the bottom lane, and she's now up to about 300 gold per minute. Again, it's not the most impressive in the world, but it is a very solid number here. Pharaoh, will he Wrath of the Pharaoh to try to get this double damage? Yes, he will, and yes, he'll pick it up right in front of Rally. And now trying to maybe make a counter kill happen. Seismic Slam, though, coming in. Oh, but the Hellfire doing work right there. Actually stuns him in mid Seismic Slam, but it doesn't matter. Rally just uses it again after they catch him, and down goes Pharaoh. So I love the idea of stealing the double damage rune, but did cost him his life in the end. Yeah,
they finally said, okay, that's enough times of you sniping out that rune from us, and we're going to be ready for you this next time. Kelphill in the bottom lane, Silhouette's going to be a little bit of trouble, actually.
Yeah, she doesn't have her ultimate to split up to try to make a getaway. The shells have coming out. The Ophelia Hill going to be used. She's going to turn it. Oh, Bubbles will fall right there. Now going for Tempest. A tree grapple. Again, as turn this around. The pass supply. Yes!
Oh, my God!
Silhouette survives. Are you kidding me right there? Holy crap. Well played by Silhouette.
Absolutely. That was huge. Yeah, doesn't even have the ultimate up, and this is why she was actually doing more damage. It's because she has the 4 levels in Relentless Salvo as well as the 4 levels in Death Lotus. Finally levels up as she levels twice there, I believe, and hits level 11. Level 2 ultimate now in the Shadow ability. So big plays. One of the bigger plays I've seen in a long time, actually.
Yeah, that was big indeed. Obviously, the Ophelia heal playing a big role there as well. But no doubt, big plays indeed coming out from Silhouette. Taking a glance at chat right there. No, as expected, kind of freaking out after that one. Pharaoh, in the meantime, and going at it with, or continuing to really go at it with Rally, of course, but Rally compelling away. He is level 11 now. Actually, rather than the Pharaoh going to be used right there, Pharaoh wants to go aggressive. He has support coming in. Power Throw coming out. Seismic Slam is being attempted. Actually, defensive Master's Call coming out. but Rally's just cannot get away. So I was a little bit curious about the choice from Pharaoh, especially diving in tower range, but he did have the supporting cast, as you saw. And they ultimately take out the level 11 Rally, and now go up and easily push this middle tower. Do not see DmSn defending it, so should be a free tower kill for them, and increasing what already is a pretty good gold lead. Now up to about 4,200 gold lead here for Team Bai.
Yeah, and I like how many the items that Torturer is building. These are more teamfight oriented items. They still don't have an Astrolabe just yet. Hopefully Ophelia's able to get one, but they are grouping up as a team. And even though they do have some good late game, I still think they have heroes that are very, very strong in the early game as well, like Torture specifically and Ophelia. And hell, even Easy Fit playing that Pharaoh with that level 4 Tormented Soul, you can whittle teams down enough to make it so that it's just impossible to defend a tower.
Yeah. So right now, Team Bai just going to reset, continue to farm. You look at the Hellborn side, sure, Rally has continued to have a pretty solid game here for DmSn, but it does definitely drop off after that, especially this Master of Arms here. Remember, it's at the top lane, and what, in a sense, really was a pseudo-tri versus a pseudo-tri lane. Granted, it was more of a 2v2 jungle with Torture versus Master of Arms. But Torture, I mean, he boxed him out very well, and there was always, if anything, that threat of Ophelia, coming over, as well as a Luna. So Master of Arms just hasn't had the greatest start here. Is going to try to pick up, looks like to be double stack Ancients with his teammates. He does pick up a Soul Scream Ring, probably going to be working on the Energizer. We see that frequently on Master of Arms, support or carry build. Triple stack jungle coming on from Tempest. He's, I was going to say maybe working on that Portal Key, but honestly I'm not sure. I mean, he has a Ring of Sorcery. He's trying to finish the Steam Boots, it looks like. Do you think a Portal Key should be a priority here for Tempest, or is it a difficult team to go against? What do you think?
It is a little bit of a difficult team to go against, especially with the Wrath of the Pharaoh hook. Being able to stop his ultimate, even if he goes for a Shrunken Head after that. The Skeleton Kings will do the same. And not to mention, even before you get the Shrunken Head, tons of things can cancel it. Yeah. Torture can, Luna can, Silhouette can even cancel it with a Tree Grapple. I prefer in this kind of instance, too.
Whoa, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Okay, where are you at? Go ahead and pause your game. I'm going to pause. I was like, holy shit, this is an insane haste rune. I was on fast forward. Go ahead and get to 2706 in your replay. 27. If you don't mind, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's just 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I totally didn't even realize. I was like, what is going on? He's hacking. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, so sorry to cut you off, but you were saying.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sorry. Yeah, I was so baffled by that myself, so I wasn't sure. But anyways, Wrath of the Pharaoh coming right here into Tempest. Going to catch him out. Hellfire's going to be used as the shells up on top of that, trying to counter onto Pharaoh, actually. And Tempest will barely survive. Pharaoh is going to fall. Great save from the Hellborn team, but the dive will continue. Rally now the target of choice. He still has that Seismic Slam, remember. Tempest is barely alive. There we go. The Seismic Slam going to come out right there. Ophelia dropping quickly, trying to turn this around. Nice Astrolabe heal coming out. Rally will fall. Kelfin hitting all. Shell Surf connects, though. Ophelia will fall. Double tapped coming out for Mirage Hunter. Playing that Bubbles, actually. But in the end, Team Bai actually getting the tower kill. And they're going to continue to push here. So actually didn't end up too poorly for Team Bai by any means. So
yeah, and then Astrolabe that he just picked up. Actually, even though he died, it kept him long enough to get the extra kill onto Zergo before he did fall, just a hair before too. So I like that pickup. And you see actually a pretty big goal lead here coming out for Team Bai.
Okay, so we were talking about Tempest Portal Key. I think maybe that's where we're going.
Yeah, I feel like he should go more of the team fight items yet again in this situation. And things like an early Astrolabe. They don't have any other contenders to do so except for maybe a Glacius, but he isn't farming anything. So an early Astrolabe, perhaps a Barrier Idol after that. And then maybe just a Shrunken Head by itself without the Portal Key. But just in general, I think you need to build yourself a Tempest to be tanky this game and just get off your other spells before prioritizing that ultimate.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, has another about 450 gold save. Just finished his Steam Boots again, so kind of a little ways before we get an idea of what Tempest decides to do here. Being played by Casvig, was the captain for from another dimension. Energizer finished on MOA. You have that Portal Key now on Bubbles, actually, and as always, a very good pickup for him, especially that he's level 12 now. So having the level 2 Kelfield. You got Rally. Interested to see where he goes, actually. And Rally not going really the tanky build early on. In fact, he could very likely be going for a Tablet of Command, as he has a major totem on him. So how interesting would that be to see a Rally with a tablet, the fact that he has a Compel and then a Tablet of Command on top of that.
I think
there you go, by the way.
Yeah, you know, normally I would say I think it's a bit much, but because he's up against specifically a Pharaoh, I think it's okay. Having multiple ways to get you and your teammates and your allies out of that wall is, I think, going to be very important. So I think it's actually fine here in this instance.
True. You know, the good thing about the Compel, well, I mean, there's many good things about it, of course, but the biggest difference is the fact that it'll obviously stun the people as well as do the damage. So if anything, you know, using the tablet to get people out of those mummy walls perhaps, but then compelling more offensively, you kind of freeze that up. So perhaps that's some on the thinking there too. But yeah, you know, when we've seen Rally, usually it seems like more of the tanky build, even that earlier on Portal Key is what we tend to see. But Zergo going a little bit different here when it comes to his builds. Master of Arms has picked it up a little bit. So good news for the Hellborn team. He's now up to about 280 gold per minute. Has another 1,100 gold saved up, so can start working towards the bigger item, of course. Speaking of big item, Nullstone has been finished on Silhouette. So obviously big item pick up. Rally gonna be initiated on here. There goes the tablet, I believe. Yes, that was just a tablet. He still has the Compel to use deep in the Master's Call. Already is. There's the Compel out of the mummy walls. There's the demoralizing roar, but it doesn't scare them off. And Torturer will finish off with the kill. So Rally, I mean, showing right there a little bit of his getaway presence, but not enough. He falls. As the 4-man gank was successful at the top lane. Actually, speaking of 4-man gank, bottom lane, now Silhouette's in trouble, but no, she'll fall back and be fine.
And she has a Nullstone, which is going to be good in blocking a number of different spells, the Glacius Ice Imprisonment, the stun from MOA, and the Glacial Blast.
Damn it. What am I hitting? Okay. I need to figure this out. I just accidentally fast-forwarded again. Okay, where here, let me just sync it up with you. You're at
I'm at 22:25.
Yeah, let me just speed up a bit. I'm just looking at you. 24. Oh, you paused. Okay. 31:26. You got that real quickly.
Where?
Okay, 31:26. There we go. Shut up.
All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm hitting a key. I don't even know what it is, but I'll try my best not to hit that key again. Damn you, Benny Hill. All right. We're good to go.
All right.
So we talked about the Nullstone on Silhouette and multiple abilities for her. And actually, speaking of her, she's diving here, but no. She will port back. They're going to push the top in the meantime, and actually that will be a free tower.
The Legion takes down a Hellborn tower!
So 9,000 goalie now, wow. In favor of Team Buys. It is really grown here, 23 minutes in, actually.
Well, they have almost all the outer towers. There's only one more remaining at their disposal, and they have all of theirs up except for the one in mid, so that just goes to show you how much more they're farming. And then I think just Silhouette, she hasn't been too active in these team fights. She's 3-2-2, but she has a huge creep score, 125 CS, top farm in the game with 410 gold per minute. So
yeah, it really has this big, but also the supporting cast constantly is still being on top of the Hellborn side. Yeah, it's the big thing. I mean, sure, Master of Arms, Rally, and Bubbles, all okay farm, but obviously not a case of we're feeling comfortable, because they're not. This is not where you want to be if you're DmSn. So again, DmSn up 1-0. That's where you want to be. But here in game number 2, it is looking pretty damn good for Team Buy, actually. Earlier on, of course. Speaking of Silhouette, back to the bottom lane she goes, and their 1,500 gold, 2,200 gold saved up on Torturer, actually. Curious to see, you know, that Shrunken Head is considered to be a pretty powerful pickup on him. Especially if you get the earlier on mana and whatnot. And, you know, having a tablet and a Talisman of the XL definitely has accomplished that somewhat. So wouldn't be surprised to see something like that Shrunken Head on him as he's pulling up a good amount of gold. The Arcana onto Pharaoh. So Hellflower in the works. 3,100 gold being pulled up on Ophelia, by the way. She's actually farming some Ancients currently. So pulling up that gold, going for something big. Portal Key just picked up on Silhouette, and here we go. Compel going to be used right there. That Seismic Slam on top of the Ophelia coming out, and Torture mitigated the damage in the sense. No, he's going to still be gone on. Oh, barely tapping away, but will fall when it's all said and done. Pharaoh not trying to initiate, but he's going to be turned on too. Actually, a pretty good fight here for DmSn as Allfire is still alive. They get the tower kill. There's the Offensive Master's Call. The Compel hitting. Aluna going to try to be ported back. It ain't going to be enough, though. And now Ophelia's in trouble. She's also going to be picked off. Trying to port out. No, it will not happen. And just like that, 4 kills for nothing in favor of DmSn, and they may keep pushing this.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. The double tablet and just the Compel ability in general is making it very annoying for the Legion team to try to capitalize on a single target. And not to mention the MOA defensive call coming out on top of that. It's very difficult to really center onto one target and CC them down because you have those number of abilities to get them out of harm's way.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it is definitely playing a big role, to say the least, here for the Hellborn side. So, yeah, great fight overall for them. Again, the tower kill, the 4 hero kills, and what ended up being 2 tower kills, as we see. Talk about that gold swing. I mean, just look at it. Just before that, it was nearly 9,000 gold, I believe. And now we're looking at about a 4,000 gold only lead for Team Bias. So still in their favor, but no doubt closing quite a bit. More than half of it gone. And then the experience lead has actually gone quite a bit in favor of the Hellborn side. Rally leading the way with that. He's currently level 14. Granted, you are dealing with a silhouette on the opposition, who has hit that level 16 point. And look at that. Zergo getting picked off, as tanky as he is, but Pharaoh Silhouette and Torturer, as well as there was even one more there, it looks like, in Aluna also assisting, collapsed to get the kill. So that portal key pickup on Silhouette, obviously big. We know you love it, Trell.
Yeah.
And they are going to group up his 5-down push. Rowley is down for 25 more seconds. He does have buyback, but this is kind of one of those awkward spots.
Yeah, it is. You don't want to buy back when you have like 5 seconds left. It's just silly. So, but the thing is you're going to have a lot of damage into this tower. Astrolabe is still up. The Ophelia's heal, the ultimate's still up, so we could see a big push here right now.
Farrell's going to be ported back, actually. Okay, that's full retreat now, but is that going to be the best decision? Because now Farrell's not here. He's not able to support them. Silhouette is going to port out, and it looks like actually everyone will be fine in the end. Torturer, yeah, he'll be fine too. So it ends up being okay, but yeah, that was a little bit questionable there at the beginning.
Yeah, I thought they maybe could have fought that a little bit more.
Yeah.
They had, and actually Ophelia has a lot of farm too. A Storm Spirit on top of all of that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I think they have the means to fight. Unless there's like a huge item on the courier or like a big pickup that they're waiting, but it's not really anything that close unless Torturer has a hammer there waiting in their stash, waiting for that shrunken head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of funny right there. Bubbles actually shell surfed right in front of Aluna, who happened to be invis, and they just kind of stared at each other almost as if they could see each other, but of course they could not. But in the end, Bubbles gets away. There was the supporting cast coming in for Team Bi. Not able to get there in time. But Wrath of the Pharaoh actually catching Rally here. He's going to compel. That's a Talbot, actually. It's confusing on this hero, man. He will be fine for now. He does have that compel still running. Demoralizing Roar going to be used. And he will ultimately get away. So, again, Rally is a difficult hero to take out for several reasons. Just so tanky and the several escape abilities he has now. So right there, able to survive. But you were talking about, it seems like Team Pi, they do have fighting potential here. When it comes to team fights, not really choosing to force the issue, at least just yet here. They have landed some nice ganks, but going to still continue to farm at least a little bit now. As Silhouette wants bigger and better items. Cleaning up some illusions there. And you also talked about Ophelia. I mean, her farm is 280 gold per minute. It's solid for sure. Especially with that Storm Spirit now picked up.
Now you do have the Shrunken Head up on the Tempest, so if you're worrying about having the Pharaoh being able to cancel it, you have to make sure that he's not initiating these team fights, if that's your idea. Or if you have a Skeleton King ready to go. You actually do have one of them from Hoffmeister. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to still initiate with the Pharaoh? Well, if you do that, you're going to have to make sure that, actually, there's the initiation.
It didn't even catch Tempest, but it gets him anyways. He jumped on a Glacius. Tempest caught in the Mummy Wall as well. He'll fall. Seismic Slam trying to be attempted here by Zergo, but it keeps getting canceled. The Hellfire's too powerful. He'll compel away, trying to escape. Fork Lightning being used right there to slow everyone down. Not going to be surviving, though, as he falls. Again, he can buy back, but he is down for a minute now. Silhouette diving on the Master of Arms, using that portal key. Master of Arms still has a shrunken head, but with that physical damage, choosing not to use it correctly. Rally does buy back, by the way. And almost as if he wants to go back in, he still has that Seismic Slam, remember. And Ophelia's going up, but there's the Rally initiation. He'll fall back, though, just going to Demoralizing Roar and be fine for now. But these melee racks going to be heavily pressured here by the Legion team. They don't even need a creep wave, especially with the deaths that are happening. Now Glacius is back. Energizer being used right there. Stun on the Pharaoh. Will Rally follow this up here? We do see initiation on a torch in the background. He's going to be ported back to the Legion. No, going to be fine. The racks will fall. But everyone is going to stay alive, so that was Pharaoh that got ported out, as we saw. But not going to be the same for Torturer, as he will most likely fall here. But the melee racks go down.
He literally got sent back the second before the Seismic Slam happened from Rally. And he actually even used it right there at the end. So perfect port out there coming out from Hoffmeister. So he played a very great Tremble last game. This game he's showing that he can also play Ophelia.
Yeah, again, it seemed Tremble kind of one of those heroes, as is Ophelia, the microing intensive heroes, and no doubt playing it fairly well. So it's cool to see players like this, let alone teams that really just don't know anything about going into it and learning more about them and seeing that skill there. So And again, Team Bai, going back to the big picture of they're in a great spot here. They're doing their best to force that third and final game here in this series, and right now they're in the driver's seat, to say the least. Master of Arms might be in trouble here, as Silhouette, ooh, she really wanted to go in, but her Portal is still on cooldown. She's going to die big time here. She missed the Death Lotus. Okay, she's going to pour it out. I was going to say that was suicide.
Yeah, that was really good. She actually would have gotten that kill, I think, if she hit that Death Lotus. But
yeah,
it's difficult when you have someone running away like that, and there was a decent amount of range between the two.
Yeah, but in the end, I always get a little bit. Oh, actually, speaking of Silhouette, she's going to jump Glacius here, and Glacius pushed up a little bit too far now. Defensive Master's Call coming out, but it's a Glacius versus a level 18 Silhouette. It doesn't matter, as we see right there. But I was going to say I always get a little worried for Silhouette players, when we see instances like that. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I realize it just poured out. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's that. They have that option. This bottom tower is going to fall.
Yep. Ailment level 4, as it has been for quite some time. And they're up to a 10k gold lead. Actually, the experience is slightly, believe it or not, in favor of DmSn.
Yeah.
But the gold lead is just pretty substantial here for a Team Bai. And Silhouette hoarding up another 3,400 gold, so we'll have to wait and see if he goes for that perfect shield breaker route. We'll have to wait and see, though. AZH.
It's one of those cases, especially with the experience, that sure, it says it's about even right now. Ooh, Wrath to the front, missing right there, and actually initiated on the Silhouette, but no, Rally's not going to follow it as he hits Silhouette with the Compel, but no Seismic Slam or anything. Nice dodge right there by Tempest, actually, on the chain reactions. He does have a shotgun head. He's going to ultimate right here, but really it's not doing a whole lot. He'll still fall. Torture being locked down. Torture barely staying alive, falling in the background. The Goo doing some work right there. Nice Compel from Rally. He already used the Seismic Slam. Still chasing. Big kill coming up from Ophelia, though. A double tap already in the works for Silhouette. Make that a hat trick. Make that maybe a quad kill going to be coming out. No, not coming out, but it looks like From Another Dimension's had enough. They will concede, and that means we have a game number 3 going to be coming up here between Team Bai and DmSn. So looking forward to that, as Team Bai coming back in the second game and looking pretty good, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a game off of DmSn, and we know a little bit about DmSn. We've seen them and cast them a number of times, but don't really know that much about Team Bai, so being able to take a game off of DmSn right now and forcing it to a game 3, they win this. Remember, if they win this is for a spot in that final Sound Blasters tournament.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big game here coming out for both teams, actually.
Yeah, definitely getting down there as far as how many teams are remaining for the Sound Blaster and are eligible to qualify, and it is dwindling down, so you want to take advantage of that. But which team will it be for this cycle? Will it be Team Bai, or will it be From Another Dimension? Well, I have this answer for you. We're going to find out next with game number 3. And also, we will be having our question for you guys next as well, which we are going to post on our Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead, go and like both the Sound Blaster Twitter and Facebook page, so facebook.com/soundblaster, as well as the Sound Blaster Twitter. And then also answer our question that's coming up, and you'll be eligible to win a couple of Sound Blaster headsets. So definitely stay tuned for that. We'll come back at you with that, as well as, of course, game number 3 here with DmSn taking on Team Bai. Stay tuned, guys. Coming up next.